So when you log into WebVMS, you get to the sign list tab, and it shows a map of where your signs are over here. And then for each sign, you've got 3 signs, so it shows you information for each of the signs in the boxes up there. So it currently shows that this one's asleep, for instance. You put your mouse over these icons here, and it tells you more information. So if there's any alarms or any issues with the sign, you can put your mouse over it to find out more, and these icons here light up. This icon here shows you the radar is actually running on the sign, and the one next to it shows you the signal strength. So like your mobile phone, the sign's got a mobile phone-like device in it, which is why you fit a SIM card, and it gets access to the internet that way. So this signal strength indicator shows you what sort of signal strength. If you find you put in an area that's a bit of a black spot, then your signal strength, for example, this one might be a bit lower. So that's a good thing to take note of. Further down, it shows that the sign is communicating back to our server. The firmware version running on the sign, that's the software running on the sign itself, so that's that number there. And the current time on the sign, this shows you, this will be a few minutes out, just because it's not live, so the sign's not live updating, but it's roughly the right time. And so this means that if you want to do scheduling or anything like that on the sign, you can prove by that the time on the sign is right. And so it gets the time from the satellite. So if you find the sign, we can see that all the signs are currently located here. And so the time, as I said, is obtained from the satellite, the GPS satellite, the same as the location of each of the signs. So if you move them, within about 15 minutes, it'll show you on here where the sign is. And then down the bottom here, this bar is usually green if everything's okay. This one here, it's gone to yellow, which means your batteries in this case are a little bit low. So it starts off with alarms, then battery voltage of the sign, and then the current temperature on the sign. So
inside it, sorry, that's the question. Inside the box?
Well, the current temperature inside the sign head where the SIM card goes.
Up in the VMS part.
Up in the VMS part, correct. Yeah. But your battery voltage, yes, that's your battery voltage from your battery box. So that's gone yellow because the battery voltage has gone a little bit low on this one. So it might be just under some overhanging trees. Yeah. The primary source of power for your signs is via the solar panels, so it's a good idea as part of maintenance, and I'll cover that a little bit later on, to make sure your solar panels are clean, and when you put it out on the site, to make sure that there's no overhanging branches, because they'll need about 6 hours of sunlight a day, depending on what message is actually running on here. So that's all that. So here's your main point of reference. So when you log in, this is the screen you come to, and you can find out all the information. If you then go and do something to the sign using one of the other tabs, come back here and click that green refresh button up the top there. I'm going to click because the internet's quite slow here, but when you click that, it will just update the information for the sign. So if you've sent a new message, for example, that will come up there. The other thing is the signs run according to the ambient light level outside. So if it's a very sunny day, the LEDs will get brighter. So that's discussed here. So the light level is running at 95% for that sign. So there's full sunlight on it, or it's quite bright outside, so the LEDs will run brighter. And it's set to auto, which means automatically at night, if it senses the light's getting a bit low, the LEDs themselves will run lower. So if it's pitch black outside, the sign itself will run at about 1 or 2% light output. So it automatically manages that. You can set a light output schedule, so you can manage that through here. Or if you find that it's running a bit bright for a certain location, you can again manage the light level.
Big complaints or whatever, somebody's window close to it or whatever.
That's exactly
excellent.
Right. So that's all possible there. But in normal circumstances, during the day it's going to run bright, at night it's not. The other thing too is this is running a bit lower, which might indicate also there's shadow on there, so which probably means your solar panels are also charging. Yeah. So you can deduce a bit from all that sort of thing. So that's that. Now I'll click the more info button for a sign. Go back to this. So this basically just shows you more information about the sign, the GPS latitude and longitude, whether your fans are running in your sign. So as the sign gets warmer
Yeah.
inside the sign head,
Yeah.
the fan will kick in.
Could they be running continuously at certain times?
No. Oh,
Never.
if the temperature detected inside the sign head gets above 45 degrees, then
Uh-huh.
the fans kick in.
Right.
And then they might not turn off till it gets down below 45 degrees. So yeah. So the more info screen again shows information, status about your sign. It shows the SMS number of the SIM card in your sign, and also and your VIN number and other details. Also over here it shows you if you have set the radar up, it shows you what it's currently set to. So that the important things like your set speed, which is the speed zone that it's set for. So, and I'll go into this a lot more shortly. But if you need to check what a sign's set to currently, just click on the more info screen for a particular sign. They've all been set. The radar is running on all of them, and you can tell that because this is actually yellow. When the radar is not operating, it goes back to disabled grey, like the other icons. So we'll go to. In fact, the next thing I wanted to point out to you is the location of the user manual. So you click that button there, that will open the user manual as a PDF. So what I just described for the sign list, that's all described there too for you in more detail.